Mandalorian season 2. Sorry, we're not at season 3 yet. I don't know why I said season 3. I am so excited to talk about this season. Season 1 is such a special season. Like, you can tell I really loved it when I made that video. Season 2, I think, still is my favorite season. This was a season actually going into this season. When I heard all the rumors about this season, I got really worried about this season. Because there was rumors that we were going to get Boba Fett in this season, which we already kind of assumed. We were hinted at Boba Fett. So I'm like, I wasn't too stressed about that. And people know who Boba Fett was from the, original trilogy. But then when I was hearing about Ahsoka coming into this show, I was like, this show felt like such a great way to get new fans into Star Wars that I was like, how are you going to introduce Ahsoka, which was this Star Wars animated show that lasted like 7 seasons? And I don't remember at the time if before this season 7 had even come out yet. I think it did, but it was still like, I don't know how that's going to work. There was talks of Bo-Katan coming in, which I guess made sense because she was a Mandalorian and stuff. But it felt like, man, how's all this going to work? And not all of it went perfectly, it did work out pretty well. I guess we'll start with my negatives on this season. One negative I will just get off the... I will save towards the end of the video. But main negative is just there's a couple episodes that are stinkers here. I don't really like the frog people episode, but it's fine. It's not like... It's an episode that, like, when I rewatch the season, I don't really end up skipping because it's still kind of enjoyable, but it is not a great episode. It's definitely one of the worst episodes of the series. But yeah, rest of the show is fantastic. I just got, like, the way they introduced all the Clone Wars characters, like Bo-Katan, felt really good. Like, really testing Din Djarin's worldview. I think what works the best for this season and where the later seasons of the show kind of screw up is there's such a clear goal throughout this season. Get the child to a Jedi. Everything he does is in progression of that plot line. Yeah, there's side quests within that, but the main goal is still there. And as much as I don't like Bill Burr as a person, I do think that one of the last episodes of the season where Bill Burr goes into some of his backstory as Mace, man, that was such a great character work and character writing and performance from Bill Burr. He's great in this season. Just so many great things about it. I really just can't gush over the season enough. The finale of the season is great. Just so much great stuff here. I guess my 2 issues that I'll get into that I wanted to save for the end of this video. I really don't like what they do with Ahsoka. I think her episode is good and her being introduced was exciting at the time, but it still bothers me that in her episode she's called a Jedi, even though at this point in the show she was not a Jedi. Well, not in the show, but last time we saw Ahsoka was in the Clone Wars where she had abandoned the Jedi Order. So it was so weird and not giving us a proper explanation of that storyline and why she's not a Jedi. I do think the Ahsoka show later kind of fixes that, and you see kind of her coming to grips with some of the stuff and trauma she dealt with during the Clone Wars and stuff. I'll eventually rewatch and talk about that show before season 2 comes out later this year, I believe. But I'll save that for later. But I do think that it's a good character thing that they do in that show, but for this, her being introduced in the show, it did feel like, what are we even doing? Calling her a Jedi, I felt like she should have explained, I can't train him because I'm not a Jedi. Also, I sense a lot of fear in him. A lot of that would have made a little bit more sense. But I do think it is very good character work with a lot of the stuff that happens in the season. That's a very well-directed episode. So I think her episode was good, but it still felt like kind of a little bit off. Now for the big issue. I really hate to bring this up because I love this show. I'm excited about the new movie coming out. I can't wait for whatever they do next with this series. But you do watch this show and you do go, why does this episode feel like a series finale so much? I really hate to say it like that because I didn't want this show to end here. But man, this felt like such a perfect point to end the show. Our two characters went their separate ways. I guess the only issue is that The Last Jedi happened and kind of fucked up Luke's storyline. I mean, even watching this season, it feels so awkward from his character point in The Last Jedi, where he literally looks at Din Djarin and says, I will protect him with all my life. This child. And you're just like, fuck! They understand Luke's character so well in the show, but yet not that movie. I understand what they're going for in that movie, and I will do a video on The Last Jedi. I just shot my review for Return of the Jedi, which will be out later this week. So I don't want to talk about it too much, but it just, God, that shit pisses me off so much. It really does. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.